Buzz driving? Mad about it? Welcome to the best podcast in South City. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how the Mothers Against Drunk Driving organization has changed many lives and policies for the better. MADD influenced the public on stronger DUI laws while protecting public safety and individual rights, bringing attention to the organization's responsibility to reduce drunk driving fatalities while considering the rights of individuals affected by these policies. To get to know the whole story, we have to start from the beginning. During the 1970s, due to the high uprising of alcohol, it had resulted in twice the amount of DUIs being issued to California drivers. Although they had a valid California license, more than half of the drivers on the roads were driving impaired. Prior to the 1980s, drunk driving accidents weren't seen as a big deal, just deemed unfortunate. People accepted it and moved on with their lives as if nothing happened. Before MADD in America, about 25,000 innocent lives were sadly taken, making up 50% of all traffic deaths, leaving suffering families to grieve without justice due to irresponsible people. Although there were harsh penalties, they were rarely applied, and when the defendant asked for a jury trial, they were almost always pronounced not guilty. In the United States, they worked to forbid alcohol in hopes to try and lower the level of consumption in 1980 and 1981, but instead, those numbers decreasing, it led to a massive uprise in alcohol consumption, just below 2.8 gallons of pure alcohol a year.
On May 3, 1980, Candace Lightner's 13-year-old daughter, Carney Lightner, was hit in the middle of the day in Fair Oaks, California by a drunk driver of the name Clarence William Bush while she was walking to a church carnival. She flew 125 feet after being hit from behind. He didn't stop to check on Carney. Instead, he sped off. Clarence Bush was a repeated offender of driving impaired. This marked Bush's fifth arrest of drunk driving. Candace Lightner was informed by a police officer that drunk drivers were not prosecuted how they should be. A driver that was driving under the influence wouldn't be set behind bars for as long as they deserved to. I know, right? This motivated her to fight for their justice and harsher consequences, as he would be a free man quickly after murdering an innocent life. Bush only served 2.5 years for intoxicated manslaughter following the Lightner incident. After being released and attaining a temporary license, he would cause another wreck while intoxicated. This put the spotlight on a major problem in law enforcement and increased demand for expert legal assistance from a drunk driving accident lawyer. This led to her deciding to start an act against the only socially accepted form of homicide, quote unquote, and started MADD to stop this from affecting people around the world. She was going to fight for her daughter and make her death something positive. I promised myself on the day of Corey's death that I would fight to make this needless homicide count for something positive in the years ahead, later said by Candace Lightner. Her organization aims to fight for these laws to be taken seriously and new laws to be passed, stopping these life-changing accidents and supporting those who are affected by it over the years. The group has grown in size greatly and focuses its efforts on a few mission areas. In general, it places most of its effort in education and policy creation initiatives. Candace had a huge impact on all driving laws and how drivers under the influence should be charged. They were mandatorily sent to jail, being a high priority to arrest people for DUI in some states. She influenced the legal drinking age to be 21 and up. For anyone who is driving under the influence must have their license suspended. MADD had an initial goal of aiding the victims of crimes performed by individuals driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, to aid the families of such victims, and increase public awareness of the problem of drinking and drug driving. Then the primary mission was to educate people on the dangers of operating a vehicle while intoxicated, while also providing assistance to those affected by this crime. With the help of vehicle accident lawyers who advocate for victims, it pushes for policy in several places, including administering a blood alcohol content limit of 0.08% and setting the minimum age for alcohol consumption at 21. This was said by MADD.
MADD has done a very successful job in helping reduce the amount of lives lost, saving more than 400,000 lives, which is more than 50%. They have a very big and significant impact on America. By their 20th anniversary, alcohol-related deaths decreased more than 40% over the past 2 decades. From 1991 to 2022, 32% of total crashes are alcohol-related, but the rate of drunk driving crashes have decreased 35% nationally, and 70% of them are individuals under 21 years old. Overall, there has been a significant decrease in impaired driving. MADD granted many services to almost 1 million victims, survivors, and the families of victims for no charge. Some of the services they provide are court accompaniment and advocacy services, information about victims' rights and education on topics related to the victimization, assistance finding national and local financial resources, direct and indirect emotional support options, including one-on-one emotional support, peer support groups, and referrals for therapy, said directly from their website. These are very beneficial for people because impaired driving accidents are very traumatic and can leave someone clueless on the next step in the process.
In the end, MADD had positive outcomes of influencing many laws to promote public safety while protecting individual rights at the same time, bringing attention to the organization's main goal of ensuring responsibility to reduce drunk driving fatalities while considering the rights of individuals being affected by these policies. MADD, although founded in 1980, is still important and still has significantly been working on reducing drunk driving incidents. This organization has raised public awareness of the quote-unquote accidents that happen. They help out families impacted by these incidents, providing support in what they need, and also having made huge laws that change the way society views this huge crime happening every day. YouTube was a main source used in this podcast, and thank you to Ms. Chin for helping come up with this topic and guiding us through any hardships of this project. South San Francisco High School Library gave us a space to work and create, and Miss Mitchell was also a big help as well because our note cards came in handy while completing this.
Thank you for listening, and hopefully this episode influenced you to educate family and friends on this topic. And maybe you can save lives like MADD.